Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about solving and graphing absolute value inequalities. Here are the two problems that we'll do, and to make sure we don't take ourselves too seriously, let's think about the fun question. If you could pick a location for your dream house, where would it be? Alright, so on the math section, it's common that you would see absolute value in some shape or form. That could be equations that you're solving, inequalities you're solving, or you could see graphs. So today's video here is absolute value inequalities with graphs. There is a video on equations if you'd like to watch that as well. Okay, so I chose the first one with having division in the bars and then addition inside the bars here. The practice problems will have then multiplication and subtraction. Okay, so we have a negative outside of the bars in the first one. A couple things that we need to remember about inequalities. If we have a negative that we will end up dividing here, we're going to say, well, first of all, we'll say isolate bars first. And also, we want to talk about flipping the sign. So if I'm going to divide by -3 here, with inequalities, that's a bit of a red flag. So we know that we need to, when we divide and multiply by a negative, that is when we actually flip this sign. So we'll say when you multiply or divide by a negative, flip the sign. All right, so that means that here, these -3's will cancel and we're left with, I'm going to write it here, n/8 in the bars is less than +1. The reason for that is when you're dividing by the negative, if you kept the sign the same, it wouldn't make any sense. So those are just two little notes here. Okay, now case 1, remember with solving absolute value equations, you have two answers that will work. Because absolute value means the distance between a number and 0 on a number line. And when you are asked to find the absolute value of something, let's say the absolute value is 5, that means -5 and +5 will work. So for an inequality here, we will also have two cases. The first, we're going to say drop the bars. That's case 1. Case 2 is going to say flip sign and make one negative. Okay, so I'm going to do n/8 less than 1, and then this will be n/8 greater than or equal to, or no, greater than -1. Okay, I need to solve for n. Multiply by 8 on both sides. N is less than 8 on this side, and then I need to multiply by 8 on this side, N is greater than -8. Okay, so I need, another thing we need to write down, when you have less than or greater than, use open circle. When you have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, use closed circle. Why? Because we don't need to include 8 or -8 here. We actually want to not include them. It's like including basically 7.99999, but not exactly 8. So we are going to do an open circle on the 8, an open circle on the -8, and then with thinking about where our shading goes. So if it says less than the positive, but greater than the negative, I know that my shading is going to go between these circles here. So that includes all of these numbers, but not -8 and not +8. Okay, now let's move on to this situation. We have addition inside the bars. Remember, we must isolate the bars, what's in the bars first. So I'm going to add 9, add 9. -10, let's go 4n plus 4, and then less than or equal to -40. Okay. I'm going to divide by a negative. What do we do? Well, we must flip the sign. So notice that I'm flipping the sign before I even drop the bars. And that's what happened in the first one too. So I'm going to now do my two cases. Case 1, 4n plus 4 greater than equal to 4. Case 2, 4n plus 4. And then what do? We flip the sign and we turn that number negative or positive if it's already negative. Okay, -4 minus 4. Then we get 4n greater than 0, so n must be greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0. -4 minus 4. 4n less than or equal to -8. Divide by 4 on both sides, n is less than or equal to -2. So I'm going to do a closed circle on 0 and a closed circle on -2. And this time, I want a number that's greater than the 0, but then less than the negative. So that means that my shading is going in opposite directions. So these two problems here, they really hit on a lot of different just things to remember with inequality. Okay, practice problems. Try these. They're so similar to what we just did. However, this is multiplication inside the bars and then subtraction inside the bars. I will let you pause the video if you'd like to see the answers at a later time. Answers are here. Okay, so these two are a little different than the last ones. We have the closed circles with the shading going off to the sides, and then in this one, it's open circle with the shading in the inside. All right, how about a quote to finish things off? LeBron James says, "I like criticism. It makes you strong." I think that's an awesome way of thinking. So I hope this video helped you in some way. And if you want to answer the fun question in the comments, that would be great. If you'd like to keep up with new videos, feel free to subscribe. Have a good day.